Hi everyone, doing another Modern Horizons 3 draft. We have a really strong first pack. I mean, Phlage is great, and it's going to be what we pick. You know, it's Lightning Helix early, and then late it can come back and take over the game. Pearl Ear is also certainly a first pickable card, and so is Reiterating Bolt. After that, you know, I like the Unicorn. The Void Craw is pretty good. But yeah, it's a good pack. It's definitely Phlage for us, though. And hopefully, ideally, we end up in like a red-white deck, but, well, it's more than just ideally, actually. He's pretty hard to splash legitimately. I mean, you could splash him if you're only ever wanting the Lightning Helix out of him, but he does get worse when that's all you're getting, because you do need double red, double white at some point to get him back. So, kind of have to be red-white, or at least a deck with really, really good fixing. I mean, the good news is you don't have to be able to get him back every game. Like, if you have like 4 white sources or red sources, whichever one you're splashing, you could probably make it work. Okay, interesting pack here. So Devourer of Destiny is really strong, but it does cost 7, and it kind of takes you in a different direction than Phlage does. It's like more of a blue-green ramp kind of card. Spawn Gang Commander is really good. Those are really the 2 cards we're looking at here. Yeah, I mean, Envoy of the Ancestors isn't bad either. Neither's Reckless Pyro Surfer, but I do think the Devourer and Spawn Gang are like the really, really good cards in this pack. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Devourer. You know, I don't need to be married to red-white just because Phlage is cool, and the Devourer is really, really strong. So we've got a pretty good dual land here. This pack is kind of the opposite of what we've seen so far. I do like Angel of the Ruins, okay. Could help you with Phlage because it can plane cycle. I don't like Essence Reliquary. I don't like Dross Claw. Don't really like the blue-black deck broadly so far. Nyxborn Hydra is okay. This is only good if you're in Artifacts. So yeah, it might just be the dual land. I mean, they're just good. And this is, you know, if we end up in black-red, it might help us splash white, stuff like that. And everything else in this pack is either like underwhelming or really needs the right deck to work that I'm not ultra confident will end up in. So back-to-back Arcbound Condors and a Furnace Hellkite is kind of interesting, though, for somebody who might be trying to end up in black-red. Mandibular Kite's not bad if we're trying to be like red-white aggro. Another land. The lands are good. I mean, we do need colorless if we're going to be trying to play the Devourer. I'm leaning towards Mandibular Kite, I think. I do think these 2 cards are better, but they have these floors where you just can't play them. And you basically always play Mandibular Kite, so I think it's what we take there. Okay. Don't love Jolted Awake. Do like Serum Visionary. Reform's not bad. Got another land we could consider taking. This is cool if you end up in mono black. Oozwag's not bad. I mean, I think the Visionary is the best card in this pack. I'm just going to take it. Signals so far haven't been ultra clear in one way or another, I don't think. Wither and Bloom is a good removal spell, and potentially one we could splash if we end up in like a base white deck. I do like Thraben Charm. Unstable Amulet's another one of these synergy cards that really only works in the right deck. The Gatekeeper's good in pretty much every deck, but at its best in black-red. Void Pouncer's a fine aggro card. I'm sort of leaning Thraben Charm. Yeah, I like it as a removal spell. I think Wither and Bloom's probably a little bit better, but when I've already got a few white cards, I think Thraben Charm comes out ahead. Another good duel in Strength of the Harvest, and this one can, you know, be a useful aura at certain stages of the game, and it can splash for green when you need it to. Expel the Unworthy and Distinguished Conjurer are both perfectly fine too. I think the Conjurer is a little bit better. Like, it does have a pretty silly upside where you could start just blinking things, so only lets me blink creatures, unfortunately. Well, I guess blinking Mandibular Kite wouldn't actually accomplish anything, come to think of it. Alright, I like Inspired Inventor. It fits in like every white deck as like a C, C+. You know, it's never going to be amazing, but it works in all of them. It's not one of these cards where I'm like, Well, it'll work in X deck only, which there are pros and cons to that happening in a limited format. For the most part, this format has enough like overlapping themes that it doesn't happen that much, but the black-red deck especially is kind of on its own, doing its own thing. I love Nyxborn Unicorn, so I'm happy to get one here. So yeah, it kind of looks like we're red-white aggro, or at least white-based aggro that maybe splashes red. White seems very open based on the last few picks, which, you know, are quality cards. Okay, I mean, I think we take the Emissary. We could think about Worn Power Stone if we're leaning in a Devourer of Destiny direction, but I think maybe we're going to be a blue-white energy deck, and the Emissary's a perfectly solid card if you're doing that. And the Worn Power Stone isn't something we'd play unless we end up in like a blue-green deck or whatever, which doesn't seem like a likely outcome right now. All right, Tempest Harvester, a nice pickup here. Now that it feels like we've figured out our identity. The only thing is, I would like to play Phlage, so it's not like I'm giving up on Phlage entirely. But we do have three pretty good, you know, 3 blue cards that pretty much always make the cut in a blue-white deck. And the Devourer isn't completely off the table either. Yeah. Okay. I think the Dread Mask is probably the best of these, but random red card that might actually make the cut if we play Phlage is probably a better pick than a card that we're like definitely not playing. Okay, I mean, not a bad card to get as your last pick, certainly. Okay, so Riddlegate Gargoyle is pretty sweet, and looking likely we end up in blue-white. Do like Sink into Stupor a fair bit. Yeah. Pretty weak pack overall, honestly. Like, if this were a pack one, pick one, I would not be super happy about the situation. Like, these cards are good. You know, this is good, but it's not that easy to cast. You don't always have a target for it. So you kind of have to end up in the right deck for it to... and have against the right deck for it to be at its best. Like, I might take the Repurposer if this was pack one, pick one. Maybe Skoa. That's pretty bad. I like Riddlegate Gargoyle a lot, though, so we'll take it. Okay, so Voltstorm Angel's really, really good if we're going to end up in this blue-white energy deck, which our last couple picks have made more likely. It's going to be sad if we don't play Phlage. We would need really good fixing to make it work, I think. Area Auxiliary is quite good. Do I like it more than a Razor Grass Ambush, which is, you know, okay removal on one side and a land on the other? Don't know that I do like the Auxiliary. Well, maybe I do. It's pretty good. I mean, especially if you're curving out with flyers and aggro creatures, like, it just comes down. Yeah, I think it's a little better than Ambush, the more I think about it here. There is also a Suppression Ray, though. Really good for our mana, and then it has this upside where it's like, you know, it ends the game late. Yeah, I actually do think we take the dual land. A land that isn't a dual land, not so much, but a land that's good for our mana and has, you know, an effect that's good the 10% of the time you get it in the late game. Like, it's pretty hard to say no to. Doesn't look super likely like Devourer of Destiny or Phlage are gonna work, but I don't want to give up on them just yet. Well, there's a Kozilek's Unsealing, which if we were going in the blue-green route, like Devourer of Destiny route, that'd be pretty good. For us, I think we just take Hope Ender Coatl, which is just a good flyer. Electrozoa is not bad, and it does make energy, but I don't think the fact it makes energy makes it better than Hope Ender Coatl, even in a blue-white deck. Fink Flames, of course, isn't bad, but yeah, we will take a Coatl. Just realized my desktop audio has been muted this whole time. Not that you've missed that much, other than, you know, creatures screaming and stuff. Yeah, John-Yard Lurker's not unplayable in like any deck, but we probably just want Ether Spike. I do like deep analysis, but Ether Spike gives us energy, which we're interested in, and it's just a solid card, so. So Tempest Harvester, or a slew of dual lands, none of which were really, I mean, we don't need them now. The idea of taking them would be like, maybe we need them later. We've also got Sink into Stupor, which I think is pretty good. Modal double face land. I think we take the Stupor in the end. Yeah. Get to play one less land in our deck and have a, you know, pretty real spell effect in its place. Okay. So there's a Thraben Charm. I could start trying to shore up our red mana for Phlage. But I don't think we want to when there's a Thraben Charm, which is going to be pretty good in our deck. I think trying to play Phlage at this point would probably just do us a disservice. Alright, I guess we take Electrozoa over Petrifying Meddler. I think the Meddler is a better card, but we have enough going on that for Electrozoa to be the better pick for us, I think. Alright, another Sink into Stupor. A little surprised that these, you know, they're not as good as the duels, but the modal double face lands are pretty good either way. Well, this is a good land for us to pick up. You know, these are both not very good in limited. Flare of Denial isn't unplayable, but I think a land that we're probably going to play either way, that also, because it gives us blue, red, and white, might help us play Phlage later. Like, that's kind of attractive. Yeah, and Fathomable Truths isn't bad. Do I like it more than Drownyard Lurker? I think I do for our deck. Like, it might not make the cut in the end, but blue, red, and black. I think we'd probably just take another Electrozoa. Yeah, might play Deep Analysis. It's not terrible. Okay, so Monumental Henge is a pretty good land. How good are we at? We have 2 artifacts and equipments. Yeah, we probably don't have enough for it to be a card we want to take very highly. Enough historic cards, that is. It's another Worn Power Stone. This is one of the better duels, but given where we are in the draft, I probably don't want it. I probably am just supposed to take an aggro card like Nyxborn Unicorn here. There is a Rush of Inspiration, which is another card that could shore up our red mana, and it's good with energy. Like, I'd probably play it in our deck anyway. Yeah, we got a pretty late Unicorn before. I think we'll take it. Like, I will probably play Phlage if I can get to 4 red sources. Right now we're at 2. So, okay. Red, white, and black. Yeah, that doesn't... I mean, I guess it helps us a little. Especially when the other picks in this pack aren't really things I want. Yeah, I guess it is what I'm going to take. This is unlikely to be very good for us. This is not good in limited, and we already have one of these, and we can't really get more than one. I wonder if blue-green was the route to go, you know. We've seen a lot of cards that make me kind of wish I went blue-green. Okay, so I'd probably take another auxiliary here over Conjurer, Ether Spike, and land that helps us a little. Alright, I do like another Riddlegate Gargoyle. I think we have a critical mass of enough energy stuff right now that it's probably better than Hopinder Coatl is for us. It probably gets there. Yeah. Not especially good. I mean, if we're going to splash red, I would probably play a Galvanic Discharge, so I might just splash it anyway, even if we don't get the necessary fixing to play Phlage. I might consider it. Probably another Mandibular Kite here. Black, red, and green. Not so useful for us. Oh, this is though. Oh, yes. Okay, we get the red-white duel, which is a card I would play anyway, but that does get us to 4 red sources, right? Am I right? We've got Shattered Landscape, Perilous Landscape. Yeah. So I probably splash Phlage now, and we definitely splash Galvanic Discharge. We may not ever escape Phlage, but it's a big enough possibility that I think we run him, and count on the Lightning Helix side of things, and kind of hope the other stuff happens too. I like To the Narrative and Hexgold Slith. Which do I like more at this point? I think with what our deck looks like, we're more interested in aggressive 2-drop than we are in, a nice energy spell. But yeah, we're not playing Devourer. Things did work out in the end for us to play Phlage at least, but not the Devourer. So another Electrozoa. Yeah, I mean, we do have colorless sources, but it's just not enough. And I think our deck's too fast for us to reliably get to the Devourer. I mean, I don't think we'll get to that stage of the game very often. We'll either lose or win by then. Another Ether Spike. Is this land any better? Not really. We'll take an Ether Spike. Oh, we get a free Coatl. Works for me. Well, we definitely have a bunch of flyers and a bunch of energy. And that's kind of where you want to be. Don't know that we want these, card draw spells very much, though. We have card, advantage things, but they're generally cheaper. Looks like we have a lot to cut, but it's going to be a little bit less because we have a bunch of modal lands. We have this random red 1-drop if we really wanted it, but yeah, no, we don't. So how many lands do we need to run? So I think we can get away with 1 mountain. That way we can grab one with a landscape if we need it. And then we are counting on a duel to show up for the other red for Phlage, but I think that's okay, and it's going to make the rest of our mana better. So I do think we cut 1 mountain. It's not like we don't still have, red lands. So let's put all our modal double face lands over here and think about how many lands we actually get to cut. Because we do have a bunch of them. I wonder if I want Glasswing Grace still. I like it, but it is a question of whether we have too many tap lands in a deck that's this aggressive, and it's not one that fixes our mana in any way. We don't want black. We don't need black mana. So I think we probably... I think a Plains that always enters untapped is probably better than Glasswing Grace, but we'll think about it. I do think we can get away with cutting, 2 islands, because we have 4 modal double face lands, 2 of which can even enter untapped. So that's 11. So we can still have 9 blue sources if I go down, and that's not counting, Perilous Escape. So I think that's fine. And white is definitely our most plentiful color anyway, so... Yeah. So, couple sources of red. 3 sources of white still. So we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. We have 20 lands. I mean, we could probably get away with going even lower on islands. We don't even need double blue, so... Can I go even lower on islands is the question. I'm a little worried about going lower on white, because we do have more white things that we need the right mana for on turn 2. So, yeah. I think maybe we do just cut Glasswing Grace. Hold on to the lands that fix us or can enter untapped. And yeah, that leaves us with 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18 lands, which I do kind of think we need to hold on to just because we need the right number of colored mana sources. It's not going to feel like we're running 18 lands because a bunch of them are spells, and, you know, the fetches will thin out our deck and stuff. So what do we cut? Well, I think Electrozoa is pretty underwhelming, so I'm at least cutting one of those. Serum Visionary doesn't have any special synergy with our deck, but it is just a good rate card. What are we doing with Distinguished Conjurer? I guess we can rebuy Energy. Obviously with Phlage. Well, actually, it'll die. I guess if I had the mana, I could cast it and blink it in the same turn, but... So yeah, we can rebuy Energy is the biggest thing. Maybe randomly counter a spell. So it's not, like, great in our deck. Yeah, I'd probably cut it. And probably another Electrozoa. Yeah. Alright. I think... Would I rather have another Electrozoa than a Solstice Zealot, though? I think maybe I would, actually. Alright, I think this is our deck. Let's see how it does. Okay, well, we have potentially a really good early curve out. Turn 1 Mandibular Kite, and then either the Unicorn or the Gargoyle. Which do I want to play more onto? I was thinking about playing Sink into Stupor as a land, but I don't think I do now. I guess the Unicorn is more likely to give us, like, a snowball advantage on the next turn, especially if I can bounce something. That, you know, the Gargoyle can gain us life, but at this point, that's not that important. So yeah, let's play the Unicorn. Because it'll put a counter on this. Which, if they just play something that dies on the block, then that works pretty well for me, I think. Okay. So if they try to play a spell here, I can actually bounce it to their hand. Might be worth doing if what they do is scary enough. I can now actually move this and not have the germ die, which itself can be pretty valuable. Yeah, let's just play out the Gargoyle now. Would have been nice if our mana left over was white, but what are you going to do? Okay. Drawing a land here is kind of interesting, because now I can move the Mandibular Kite to my Unicorn and hit them for 6 here. Honestly, that's probably our best play, and we get to hold on to this as a 1/1. So we mentor that. Do we want to gain life, too, while we're at it? We'd have Galvanic Discharge in our hand, which makes that a little less appealing, but it's still able to do 4. I might as well gain the life. Makes the race even more challenging for our opponent. It's kind of funny here. I could play the Kite. Does that do lethal? I have 1 white mana up. It would be lethal. Because I can play this Kite and then immediately move it to this and attack with all 3. This will get a mentor token, and that's lethal. I think we go for it. All right. Well, that means they didn't have an answer, I think. That is what that means. That's been my experience a lot of the time when I draft this deck and it's open enough that you just like look at your board and you're like, wait, this is lethal. Like, because you just do so much damage in the air so fast, and so many decks are ill-equipped to stop you. Well, this is not nearly as good of a hand, but we'll probably counter something on 2. We could set up our double red early if we really want to. I don't know if I do. The good news is I don't have to make a decision about it anytime soon. Yeah, we'll keep 7. Our last hand had like an amazing curve out situation, and not so much this time. Could cycle it if I really wanted to, I guess. Yeah, I think we want to play an untapped land here, as tempting as playing Suppression Ray is, just so that we can leave up Ether Spike here. I'm glad I did, although it's super frustrating that, do I have to pay 2 energy, effectively? I guess I could pay 1, and it still basically gets countered, and they just have to sack the... Yeah. Okay. That way I'll hold on to an energy. Wait, that's not how that works, because then they'd get the 3/3 body. I guess this resolves second. Yeah, that was dumb. Well, I guess we just leave up mana for Electrozoa here. I could still have 1 energy, is the reason that is dumb. I mean, it's not a major loss or anything, but... Okay. Draw some cards. We will pay 1. So... I guess I'd play Landscape here. I mean, I'm thinking about playing the Ray, but it's entirely possible we find lethal at some point. Yeah, so I think we play Landscape here, and we'll either counter something with the Coatl, which is a little hard with this in play, or just play out a 2/2. I think either one is acceptable. So, yeah, we'll play the Landscape here. Don't want to cycle it. And we'll enter turn. So if they try to play a 6-drop here, they do not. I still think that means we throw out our Coatl, you know, keeps the clock going and everything. I guess that was dumb too. I should have cast it, because I would still get the card and they wouldn't have a Scion. So I'm playing poorly here. So we are going to sack this. It's like little incremental things, but now that I've done 2 of them, you know, I could have 1 more energy and they could have 1 less Scion. It kind of adds up. Oh yeah, I can't get another mountain anyway. Yeah, I want another plains so that double spelling with white is possible. And yeah, we'll just play this out. Yeah, they realized I missed a free thing. Oh yeah, this has reach. That's fun. I was just talking about how a lot of decks aren't equipped to deal with flyers. Well, this one is. Play Sink into Stupor untapped is probably our best play here, because then I can play Riddlegate Gargoyle and Inspired Inventor. Yeah, let's do it. And the reason going that wide is, like, worth it is, Suppression Ray. Suppression Ray is the reason. I think I want a servo. Also makes Thraben Charm better. Yep, and they only had that because of my genius play. We are going to pay an energy here because we're going to destroy Petrifying Meddler. So if we hit them for 7 this turn, they go to 10, and then we can kill them next turn with Suppression Ray, in theory. Yeah. So I'm not going to pay any energy here. Just in case Suppression Ray goes wrong, having the ability to stun the creatures is pretty important. So yeah, hopefully they just try to play something that doesn't hurt my board at all or gain themselves any life. If they do that, we win. Yep, we take a big 7 here. Don't leave a bunch of mana untapped. Just play out some big Eldrazi, like one with reach. Though not the one that can stun something. Okay. That doesn't have anything to hit. Alright, so we're going to go for it with the Ray here. They do have mana untapped, and that unnerves me a little. But I can at least lock these two down. And try to swing for lethal. I mean, they all get tapped, so. See if they can counter it. Even if they can, it's not the end of the world. I was going to say, we just can't win the game this turn. Well, I made it a lot harder on us by having one less energy and letting them have one more Scion than they should have, but spawn. But, you know, worked out okay in the end. I mean, it's hard not to keep a Phlage hand where we already have 1 red mana. The bummer about this hand is that I can't play Mandibular Kite on 1 like I'd like to, but I'll be able to play it on 2, so. But we do have turn 3 Phlage removal mode, which is, you know, pretty good. And we have all 3 of our colors, no problem. If only that Plains had been in my hand, I would have probably held on to that for later. Okay. I wonder whether they have Ether Spike. Now's the time to find out. Yep. Is it better to just discharge that thing? I mean, as fun as it would be to play Phlage, the fact of the matter is I do have the mana right now to just discharge. And yeah, I think we probably do. We will pay 3 energy. Alright. Well, I think that means we just attack and leave our mana up, since we have 2 interactive spells here. So I could Ether Spike this. Am I worried about it enough to do that? I kind of don't think so. Yeah. Let them have their Scions. I can bounce it at some point if it really becomes a problem. Okay, Emissary of Soulfire is interesting. Okay, so I think we play the Emissary here. It's going to give itself an Exalted counter. Do I also want to give an Exalted counter? Yeah, I probably do. Let's give one to the Harvester, too. And then I can use its ability. So this will attack now as a 3/3. Could play this as a land so that I have Ether Spike up. That doesn't seem too bad. Maybe. Yeah. Nothing else, maybe it'll scare him, you know? So I could try to counter that, but then they'd have the energy to pay. So I'm just going to wait to kill it with Phlage on our turn, I guess. Do we want to go ahead and draw here? Yeah, I think we do. Now I could just go a more beatdown route, I guess, if I play... That might just be better for this particular turn, although keeping them from playing a big Eldrazi might be better, but I still kind of think... I mean, I could play Phlage and then have mana up for Ether Spike, which itself is pretty good, but the auxiliary can probably close us the game out. Yeah, let's discard the Spike. Okay, now I can play both of these things, which is significantly better. So, yeah, let's play Phlage and see what happens. Play the Gargoyle. I think we put an Exalted counter on it now. Attack them for 4. probably loot again at the end of their turn, I would imagine. Well, that's a problem. If only it didn't gain them 7 life. The 7 life is the real problem here. Like, my god. Alright, so I think we dropped the auxiliary here. I'm going to have to try to race them. I don't know that it's a race I can win against Breaker of Creation, though. So if I attack with both, I do 5, and if I just attack with this, I do 5. Next turn, it'll make sense to just attack with everything. But this turn, just hitting them for 5 makes the most sense. So, I mean, we've got lethal in the air. Oh, no, we don't, because this will be too small. Yeah. We have lethal on the ground. Alright, so we've already played our galvanic discharge, so I think we lose our mountain and an island here. And we have no blocks. We don't really want to give up any creatures because we want to get lethal here somehow or another. And we're not that far from it either. That spawn gain commander is a problem. They can't cast... Oh, no, yeah, they can, because they'll get a Scion. Yeah. That was loud. Okay. So we're still going to try to go for lethal here. I mean, we can't do it this turn. But next turn. So the problem is that they're going to be able to use Spawn Gain Commander to kill this, but they're not going to be able to kill... I'll still have... I'll have to think about how I want to get annihilated here. I guess we're going to go ahead and gain some life. I guess there's a chance that this could turn into a creature, huh? So they could do 2 right now to our germ. I think I'd prefer that if that's their plan. They have to lose all 3 of these, which will get this to 7, though. And then they could sack this. Yeah, then they're going to be able to sack this to itself. They'll be able to sack this to itself, then that'll get its 8th counter. It just has Annihilator, right? Yeah, it might be okay. I might be okay. I also might not be. What I have to do is hold on to these 2 and have enough life to not be dead, and they can't have removal, and etc., etc. There are a number of things that have to happen. But it's not impossible. Yeah. So that will now become a creature. Then we get Annihilator Ford. We have to block one of them, or die. Yeah, we'll block with the Slith. I mean, the Emissary, because the Slith, if they kill one of these, can still help me do lethal, and the Emissary cannot. So what do they have? Can they keep from dying? Only if they get a good trigger. Ooh, that makes me wish I'd held on to a land a little bit. We managed to survive getting annihilated. That Breaker of Creation was a problem, but we were still doing so much damage that it didn't matter that they gained 7 life or whatever they gained. It almost mattered. Like, we couldn't have taken another annihilation, that's for sure. I wonder if they'd done direct damage to me with that spawn gain commander, if it would have gone better for them. Probably not, I guess. Okay, we do have our turn 1 Mandibular Kite here. We're not going to be able to have Ether Spike online on turn 2 if we go that route, but that's probably okay. We do have double red in our hand, so... I think we really need to get blue mana, so I can't really afford to play this tapped right now. No 2-drop, sadly. Man, not having Ether Spike when they play something like that hurts. Okay. Well, I do think we're probably supposed to play our Emissary here. Then he'll put a counter on himself and we'll swing for 2. There's a lot of tricks and stuff they could have, but I kind of think trading for one of them would be okay. Yeah, that's annoying. Luckily, it only impacts the ground, so... Alright, Now we really have double red, huh? Well, I guess I'll hit them for 2 in the air again. I think I'm going to play the Rush. Right now, I don't have the energy to keep it from being kind of bad. And also having a second blue mana matters. So... And... yeah, so we'll just end our turn. We're hoping we have something we can Ether Spike. Yeah, why do the Reliquary plus the Hunger Tide Rises is not great news. It's not great. They're going to really ramp their mana. And we haven't had the same start we had against other people where we were able to endure them doing crazy value things because we'd done so much damage to them. This time they're at 15, you know. Yeah, can't do anything about that. I'd probably grab red with this. Just so, I mean, then we have 2 white, 2 blue, and 2 red if we ever do get our Phlage. Right, we are going to counter that. I only need to pay 1 energy. Yeah, so we'll crack this. Phlage would have been a nice top deck right there, that's for sure. Yeah, I guess we attack for 2 again. They're going to play this Fetid Gargantua here, which is not great for us. Legion leadership can kind of help us find lethal, but maybe I should have put another exalted counter on my emissary, or put one on this. Yeah, it was a mistake. He says again. This combo is gross. Inevitably, they'll power out something that makes our life too difficult. I guess I'm going to take 3 this time. If they just play Fetid Gargantua at this point, I think we feel kind of lucky. I mean, it's not going to be good for us, but it's better than a lot of things could have been. Oof. We're not supposed to be flooding out. We did play 1 spell land, but, you know... We're supposed to have enough that that's not ever a problem. Yeah, so I would have done 1 more damage, potentially. Which I think could end up mattering in a game where we have Legion leadership in our hand and stuff. Like, they're going to go to 8 here if they use their Gargantua. So... yeah, we are flooding out hard, which doesn't happen much in this format, but it still can. It can still happen. Discarding a card draw spell doesn't feel so good right now. Discarding, but playing it as a land. But hey, man, if we get Phlage... I don't imagine they're actually going to use this. Wonder what 1-drop they have. That it was better to do that than sack it to their white. I'm not too alarmed by that. So yeah, they go to 8 here, so they'd be at 7, which would be like 1 off of lethal, which means if I draw an energy card and can put another counter on something, I would have had lethal this turn. Anyway. Anyway, and that's only if they don't do something to really mess up our board here, which... I feel like there's a pretty good chance they do. Yeah. Yeah. So now we're only swinging for 2. They're going to hit us for 9 here. Woo! They're going to hit us for 13 here? Okay. Yeah, I don't think we can win. Do we have like a random pump spell? Something like that would be funny. Yeah, no. Yeah, we had bad luck that game, and our opponent had that insane value combo with Grist's Saga plus the white, and that was brutal. Okay, well, got the good start here, and we also have access to red. Probably not going to play it till 3, though, since we can go kite, gargoyle, and just start getting in the air. But yeah, then we'll play this on 3. I guess if we draw land, we might just play the Inventor, but looks like a good hand to me. Playing a flyer on 1 and 2 is just, you know, even in a format this strong, it's a pretty good curve out. Drawing Ether Spike here is actually pretty nice, because next turn we may not actually get to do anything. So, you know, being able to do something would be good. So if we have to play this and then just leave up the spike, that's what we'll do. Alright, so it's energy aggro versus energy aggro. And it does, in fact, look like that's what we'll be doing. Do I bother with lifelink here? Probably not. I mean, it could come in handy against them, but I have enough other things to use the energy on right now that I don't think we do. So yeah, we're probably going to get to spike something here. We have 3 energy, so like, what are they going to play that we can't Ether Spike? They're going to play something that says can't be countered. It is possible. No, yeah, we'll counter that for sure. So we want to pay 2 energy. Land here would be good, because Area Auxiliary would be awesome. That's pretty good too, though. Although it's not really. It doesn't make a huge difference here, at least not right away. Oh wait, I'll have 6 energy, so I can put 2 counters on 1 thing, or a counter on 2 things, and attack for 4 here instead. Yeah, okay, that is better. Does involve using up all of our energy, but it's not a bad way to do it. I mean, I only get in for 1 more damage, and I can do the same thing with the Inventor, I guess. But the Emissary, yeah, he sort of spreads out the value, so let's go with Emissary. Also blocks, which definitely matters right now. So he's going to put an Exalted counter on himself, and an Exalted counter on the Gargoyle. Yeah, we'll attack for 4 here. We're going to decline. It is going to get better to use lifelink, obviously. Land still would have been better there. Like, well, I guess we would have gotten in for the same amount. So they can attack with both of these here if they want. And this is where lifelink is going to come in handy, potentially. Okay, no attack at all is, like, the best news ever. So, alright, so let's play our auxiliary now. Definitely put 1 here. Do I want to put 1 somewhere else? Making this a 2-5 is pretty sweet right now. The 1-1's just sitting around at this point, which is a little awkward, but making it a 2-2 doesn't make a huge difference. I mean, it does help on defense, but 2-5 is just pretty beefy. I think we'd rather go that route. And we'll attack here. Yeah, I think I'm still going to hold on to the... If I didn't have more ways to make energy in my hand, I might do something different, but... So, yeah. We have lethal in the air here if they don't do something. Killing Riddlegate Gargoyle would help them a lot. But it wouldn't solve their problems either. That's what's so great about the auxiliary, is it comes down, makes something else a bigger problem, they kill that, and you're like, okay, well, I still attacked you with my 3/3 flyer, so... Uh-oh. They kill both of them. Yeah, that's less good. That's for sure. Okay, okay. Well... Still think we're okay, but certainly less okay than we were. So let's play our Inventor. Is it better to make energy here instead of putting a counter somewhere? Because if I make energy, I can put 2 more exalted counters on things. Yeah, I think energy's better than a counter. So put an exalted counter here. Put an exalted counter there. Could also move this eventually, which will also allow for a better attack, potentially. Okay. We've got our discharge. Yeah, I was going to say, if things really go wrong, we've got our discharge. Luckily, we didn't need it. See if we can keep it up. Yeah, I mean, the decks I've had the most success with in this format are blue-white and blue-green, for sure. That sort of continued to be the case for me. I've seen like insane red-green decks, but I don't think I've had my own insane red-green deck so far. Unfortunately for me, but that color pair also looks nuts. I've had blue-green decks where I splash, like in one of the earlier draft videos, maybe the last one or the one before, where I splashed 2 writhing chrysalises, but that's not really a red-green deck, you know. I was just stealing some red-green cards in my blue-green deck. Well, we've got a turn 2 Riddlegate Gargoyle ready to go. Follow it up with some other flyers. That works. You know, having a 1/1 would be better, but you know, our mana looks pretty good too, so we will keep. Yeah, turn 2 Gargoyle into, like, Inventor or maybe Electrozoa. I haven't really seen this card work. God, it's always frustrating to draw a 1-drop on turn 2. These things happen in Limited, though. I feel like it's hard to make this work, but playing it on 1 is the way to do it. It's going to get lots of quest counters. Okay, so they're going kind of slow here, but they've probably got a pretty scary late game. Interesting. Double Mandibular Kites now. I'm leaning towards just flashing in Electrozoa. It's going to let us do more damage in the long run, so... Yeah, they're going to get double landfall here. Alright, so we'll try to flash in Electrozoa, see what they do about that. They do get the energy no matter what, which is always nice, but there's a good chance they have removal or something. I mean, given that they passed with a bunch of cards in their hand, yeah. Still get the energy at least. Okay. Sacking the landscape is pretty appealing. Like, I need a plains pretty badly so that I can double spell. And for that reason, I'm leaning towards playing Hex Gold Slith here. Slith is also pretty good with the kite, you know, if we need to put a living weapon on it or whatever. Well, there's a thing for them to reanimate, and it will, in fact, kill our Riddlegate Gargoyle. And they aren't that far from being able to do it, which is not great. So yeah, like I said, if you play it on 1 and you've got some discard, like, this thing can go off. The thing I don't like about it is if you draw it, like, try to play it on, like, 4... pretty brutal. But yeah, there goes our gargoyle. Now we have to deal with a 5-7. Might be pretty hard for us to do it here. Guess we'll see. Need to find removal, obviously. Might just be best to play Serum Visionary for that reason. Probably is. But yeah, we're in trouble here. If we can get rid of the Angel, we'll be okay, but... yeah, none of you help me get rid of the Angel. I think that means I just have to bottom them both, because we're going to lose outright if we don't deal with the Angel in one way or another. So, yeah. Drawing white for the kite isn't too shabby. We do have our tap dual land thing, so it's unfortunate they're at 16, but if we can get their life a little lower, you know, that can help us finish the game. Or if they attack us, I mean, that might give us the window we need to do more damage. Junk Diver. Junk Diver number 2. Hey, there's Phlage. Gets them an artifact back, but, like, they don't have another one right now. But what they could do is use one to get back the other, which is kind of funny. Okay, well, we are going to get in for more damage, which I think gives us a better chance here. So, I'm leaning towards attacking with all 3 of these. And we will give it first strike. Then I think we'll play another kite. And leave up mana for Electrozoa. Oh, this is an artifact? Okay, okay. I did overlook that. That's less than ideal. They can't cast it just yet, but they'll be able to if they draw another card here. And they'll blow up both of these kites now, which I guess maybe I shouldn't have played them. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I'm just getting owned by Angel of the Ruins. It's what I get for not looking at it. Goodbye. Should have just played the Inventor. Or, maybe not the Inventor. I don't know. Should have played something differently. Nyxborn Unicorn. 3, 5, 7. We're at 9. Basically, what I'm doing is trying to plan out a scenario where we kill them with our tap everything down spell, but we're actually 1 mana short from being able to cast it anyway. So, you know. Yeah, +2/+2 and Mentor. I mean, that is something. Still not enough, though. Still not enough. None of these things are enough. Phlage doesn't do anything for us here. Making my Electrozoa bigger, I mean, that doesn't really accomplish anything. Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, but I'm dead if they just kill my Electrozoa, so. Alright, so let's do this. Three, 5, 7. Yeah, I mean, it's nowhere near enough. Kind of surprised I don't just want to attack with Junk Diver when they have another one in the graveyard. Alright, well, that does it. That will do it. Yeah, we got... That was a sweet deck. I hadn't really seen somebody go off with the Quest. Or Junk Diver, for that matter. So, that's the deck for it, though, where you just plain cycle early, and... Yeah. I don't love... I'm interested to see... I'll be interested to see what the data says on that Quest, because... It seems a little too finicky to me. I bet it'll have, like, a pretty good win rate in your opening hand, but, like... The improvement when drawn is probably not very good. Because even if you get it late and you use it to reanimate something, like, it's that late in the game, it's not going to be that big of a play. So, okay. This weird creatureless hand, but we do have all 3 colors of our mana and Phlage, so I can't complain too much, I don't think. It's not a perfect hand, but definitely need to draw some creatures. I'll just crack this now and grab a mountain. Wanted to do that first, so Galvanic Discharge is online ASAP, because we'll play Sink into Stupor this turn, probably. Okay, well now I wish I'd played Sink into Stupor on one, but what are you gonna do? Can't see the... Oh yeah, I always forget you could pay life for these, because it just seems... That just seems too good. Just seems too good. This is a Modern Horizons set, I guess. Nice. We're drawing pretty well. We had, like, no creatures other than Phlage, and we've drawn 2 creatures. I'll take it. I think I'd rather get into 2 for 2 than loot this particular turn, especially because I'm doing this anyway. Hey, there's that Suppression Ray. We do want a 5th land at some point, but... Like, playing Phlage and the Kite next turn seems pretty sweet. So, and we do have a land if we really need it, but I think we put the land on the bottom for now. We can cycle it, but I'd still rather draw not lands for the most part if I can help it. Ugh. That card's annoying. Even for Phlage. Because, yeah, I mean, we basically ramp their mana, but there's not really anything I can do about that. We just have to try to get in for damage and win with Suppression Ray in the late game is pretty much the game plan right now. Funnily enough, we don't have a flyer in play yet. We're about to play one, though. And we'll swing with both of these. Tempest Harvester could let us get Phlage back, although obviously we don't have our double red right now. I guess maybe that's one reason I should have grabbed that land, but I think if we throw ourselves into just trying to do Phlage, things would probably not go super well for us on the whole. So yeah, Thraben Charm can do 6 right now. Discharge can do 5. So hopefully we can just keep blowing blockers out of the way and doing damage to them until Suppression Ray is lethal. It's pretty much the game plan. Okay, they're going to kill something. Our Germ? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Does mean they don't really have to, you know, spend any mana on anything. So, a Rush gives us our 2nd red. I think we're probably supposed to play it as a land because of that. Especially, I mean, I'm not going to go all in on making Phlage work, but having Phlage ready to go later certainly matters. It's also our 5th land for Suppression Ray. So... Drawing with the Rush is tempting. I mean, it could get more cards in the graveyard for Phlage, but it's also another blue source when we only have 1 right now. So, yeah, I think we end up playing it rather than casting it. let's try and move this, because we don't have anything else to do this turn. So let's try to move our kite to Serum Visionary. I think we probably start thinking about looting. Damage is probably just as valuable, honestly. So when you got Suppression Ray in your hand, you have to think a little bit differently about things. They've got something here that's going to be not good for us, I think it's safe to say. It is too bad they didn't exile... Oh, interesting. They decided to do that. I think it makes sense. Yeah, they kill our Harvester, so... we go to 11. That does make our Thraben Charm worse. You know, that does matter. Yeah, right now we've only got 2 other cards. We need 3 more cards in the graveyard before Phlage will Phlage. I don't think... I mean, if I had just attacked with the Visionary, they would have killed it with the same card, so... Oh, God. Okay. Well, now we're in trouble. Thraben Charm. I didn't expect them to, you know, turn these Scions into anything other than mana, but... They're rumbling. Of course. Of course. I mean, there might be something to be said for just casting these so I can cast Phlage out of the graveyard, because we need 2 more cards out of the graveyard, and I can cast Discharge and Thraben Charm during their turn here, and then get Phlage back. So I mean, I guess that's what we're gonna do. Then if they can't deal with Phlage, then it's pretty much game over. We can even put the kite on him. So yeah, let's pass the turn. I guess I can exile their graveyard. It's not 0 value if I do that. So, okay. I guess I'm going to cast the Discharge. You know, we're just trying to get Phlage online, and it does let me... It does matter here. You know, it's not amazing, but it does matter. If it weren't for Phlage, I probably wouldn't do it, but... we do have Phlage, so I'm gonna do it. Alright, so let's exile their graveyard. And let's cast Phlage. So here's the thing. If I go after them, I can just kill them with a Mandibular Kited Phlage next turn. If I go after the Scion, I'm hurting their mana and their board presence. It seems kind of likely they have removal or something, you know, with what their hand looks like. You have 3 cards and a bunch of mana. Could all be like tricks and stuff like that, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for them. See if they can do something about Phlage. Okay. Well, It's a little risky now to go for the kite when I have other things I can play. So I think we just attack them. Kill their blocker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's just play the Angel. I mean, it gives us another lethal creature, so even if they do deal with Phlage, it's like game over, so. Looks like I would have won with the kite play, but in the event that they had any way to interact, it would have gone really badly, so. Trying to kill Phlage. I mean, they knew they couldn't, but we got to escape Phlage. You know, when we decided to splash him, I think I would have expected to pull it off at least one. I would have hoped to pull it off at least once, and it did pretty much win us the game there. We even sort of played 2 spells in like suboptimal ways just to get Phlage online, and it worked out. Exiled a graveyard and lightning bolted a token. But it got us our 5 cards we needed. Well, man. Kind of ugly, but kind of not. Like, I've got a duel. I have all 3 colors, basically. But I can't really play anything on curve, and I'm not on the play. Like, is that okay? Is it okay if I'm a turn late on the Kite and the Gargoyle? And the Electrozoa and the Tempest Harvester? I mean, I think it is. I think it's a keepable hand. It's not a perfect hand, but you can't really expect to have one all the time. So I do think we play this first so that we can drop Mandibular Kite. And then there's a chance that we... Yeah, I don't know. We're not going to be able to play the Gargoyle on 2 if we don't... I mean, we're not going to be able to play it when we have 2 mana available, I should say. Yeah, there's a Tempest Harvester. Okay, well now we have a pretty good reason to get red, at least. And I think I probably do. Because I can still play Tempest Harvester, but then I have Galvanic Discharge and Phlage online, so yeah. So yeah, we'll just play the Kite here. Sack this and grab a mountain. Be cool if we get to Phlage again. Yeah, they're going for the loot. I think that's normally the right thing to do. The only reason I didn't in our last game is because we had Suppression Field in our hand, which changes things. Suppression Ray, rather. Okay. So they've got blue mana up, which is pretty annoying. Let's go ahead and attack. Do I want to Phlage here? I kind of think just flashing in Electrozoa is going to be better. Like, it'll up our clock in a big way. I think we just pass. I mean, there's also a decent chance they have counter magic, and it is easier to pass here than it normally would be thanks to our Electrozoa. Yeah, we'll just pass. Spawn Gain Commander in the graveyard. Okay. I'm gonna play this as a land. Then what do I want to do? Do we play it tapped? I can't play both Riddlegate and Tempest Harvester, but if I play it untapped, I can leave up Thraben Charm. Yeah, so let's pay 3. Oh, I actually can play both of them, duh. Which I think is better than Yeah. So the good news is, like, let's say they have a sweeper, which would be bad, but if they do, and we find red mana, we can get Phlage back. Yeah, we can kill that right now thanks to all our creatures on board. So that's really good news for us. So yeah, we just go Thraben Charm. Get out of here. Probably going to be looting with our Tempest Harvester in this case. Maybe. 3, 5, 7, 8. And we're pretty much at lethal if they decide to take our Tempest Harvester, so I think we just send it in. We'll hold on to this energy just in case something crazy gets played and I have to Galvanic Discharge. Alright. So, we still have lethal, you know. So, if I play Phlage and use it to hit them, it's lethal. Next turn. Looks like they're going to kill something, though, which complicates that. Alright, well... we're going to use Phlage on that because we can. I mean, I could use Discharge. I guess if I draw another creature, I'm going to wish I hadn't used Phlage that way. But I think it's okay. We are going to decline so that even a big Eldrazi will die to Galvanic Discharge. I think it's better to do this. I mean, I could try to wait it out, and I could use the Discharge and then hold on to this to try to do lethal, I suppose. But there's so much stuff that could happen that keeps us from doing lethal that I think trying to go all in on it like that would not be a great plan. Yeah, they are picking apart our board, and those Fanged Flames also make it harder to bring Phlage back, sadly. Probably better to just bestow here. Also means if they blow up the kite, it does not die. So that's good. They can bounce it to our hand, but we still have Mandibular Kite in play, and we still have this in play, so it's still lethal. They did kick it, but they only have 1 blue mana left, so... yeah, I'm not even going to discharge. We just do this. Nice. So, 1 game left. We're either going 6-3 or 7-2. It's not undefeated, you know, like a couple of decks have done this this format, but it's been a pretty good performance overall. Phlage has been good. You know, we ended up... it was nice ending up with those 4 red sources that I so badly wanted. And it's enough. I mean, you know, if Phlage being Lightning Helix, a bad Lightning Helix, like 90% of the time is fine, and then you have this crazy mode where, should things break correctly, it just wins you the game entirely. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. We probably just lead with Flyers. I mean, there's something to be said. Maybe not. Maybe we do go with the Slith, because the Slith does... it's less likely to do damage late, and if it does damage early, it's like a huge problem because it starts to grow. So I might play it first, in retrospect. Yeah, even with Ether Spike around. We're not... generally, in limited, you know, if you have counter magic, you don't really want to play it until... you don't really want to go out of your way to try to play it, because if your opponent plays around it, it's usually like a losing play, pretty much, if you let that happen. So, So you don't really want to do that. Next turn, we can leave it up along with Electrozoa, which is probably our game plan. You only want to leave it up when you don't have something else to do, or you can still do something, like in the case of a flash card. Might kill our Slith. Yeah. We've seen a lot of Fanged Flames recently, haven't we? So, yeah, I mean, I think we still leave up Electrozoa. / Ether Spike. If they play something we really want to spike. Do I really want to spike that? I mean, it's kind of a problem. But I think it's okay. I think we just want to try to race them before scary Eldrazi things start to happen. So we could get our second red. You know, we don't have Phlage, so getting blue is probably better, but we could do it. Yeah. So let's attack them for 3. Then I think we play the Gargoyle and leave up our Spike again. Oh yeah, I can't do that because blue mana. In which case, I think I'm just supposed to play Serum Visionary. I'm trying to decide if I want to play it first, because if I can hit an island with it... The Visionary doesn't help us race either, so... Yeah, it does dig us deeper, though, so I think we do this. I do think we get an island, for reasons that were just illustrated. Oh yeah, we can't get a mountain anyway, so... And another island. Yeah? The Angel's pretty good next turn, so... And I don't hate the Coatl either. I think we just keep both of those. Flip them, but keep them other than that. Yeah, that's annoying. Freaking Reach. Makes me wish I'd left up my Ether Spike. Okay. And it can even grow and everything, which is super annoying. So yeah, let's just play the Angel, and then I think we pass. I probably could have let this tap this turn. Because I'm not attacking. Probably let it tap next turn, I guess. Such a good common. Why'd they have to give it Reach? It's already so good. Oh my god. I've done this to people enough that I guess I deserve it, but... Now I wish I'd left up Ether Spike twice. Yeah, we're going to decline here. We're going to play our Gargoyle. This is a game where we're hoping we draw our Suppression Ray, I guess. This can't be used to pay for Hope Ender Coatl. That's nice. Of course, the Scions all can. But yeah, this is going to be a game that I don't think we can win without Suppression Ray. I mean, I guess other removal would be okay. But they're likely to play like a whole bunch of something big here, you know, at some point. It'd be great if I can spike it or Hope Ender Coatl it, but... Do I try to counter this one? I kind of don't think so, because we're at a point where a third one is good, but, like, it doesn't make that much of a difference. And, I just need to hope we draw our card that'll let us tap down all their Reach creatures and we can get in for lethal, which we'll be able to do pretty easily because of Vault Storm Angel and a bunch of flyers. Yeah, so we'll just flash in the Coatl here. continue to go wide. We will decline. And we'll decline again. 3 writhing chrysalises. The problem that makes... I mean, there's just so much that makes them good. They get permanent growth, too. Like, did they have to grow permanently? That seems like you pushed it a little too hard. And the whole reach thing... I mean, I guess the good news is, like, it does seem like this Flyers deck is pretty nuts against, like, most decks. Like, it seems like there isn't enough reach or flying outside of blue-white. But and maybe that's why they, you know, gave the Chrysalis reach in design. I don't know. But... seems a bit much. Well... I think that means we lose. I can counter it, which I will. I think that'll be funny. Because these will all get huge, and then they steal all of our creatures. We're going to let them have it. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm not going to counter her either. That would just be mean at this point. Yeah, take her. Take her. I mean, it's just mean in the sense that, like, they should get to see this resolve, shouldn't they? Alright, well, we went 6-3 and lost to Emrakul. I think I can live with that. Pretty cool to see someone pull it off. Stupid cast trigger. I did have fun, even though I got destroyed by Emrakul. Alright, well, 6-3. This deck was pretty good. Phlage was fun. You know, I think it was the right thing to do to splash it. So, yeah. See you all in the next draft video.